Here I'm at a park that I've been to a couple times and I have not had any luck, but this is a park that I have not really spent much time on because you got to pay to park for one thing. and but besides that, I haven't come back because I haven't found anything. So there used to be a baseball field right over here, baseball diamond, so this used to be a field. Problem with this field is it is you can tell it just seems like it's kind of soft, mushy, like it's been reworked. It's just not old hard packed dirt. It's just kind of strange. But anyways, I wanted to turn the camera on because I had a surface find and it was just a penny. But the funny thing is it's a wheat penny. Now that had to have been a drop because seriously it was. I could actually visibly see the penny just under the dirt right there. So, but there are moles that can push up coins, so you never know, right? But that's probably the only old thing I'm gonna find at this park. Sucks. All right, well, I think I got my first 1 cent wheat penny dug. It was only at 6 inches. Now, it's kind of interesting, and the reason I can barely tell it's a wheat cent because there's like an E right in the middle there where the word cent would be, and I could probably get a date off if I had a magnifying glass. I can barely get anything off of that, but anyways, it's kind of interesting signal because, you know, my thing is with the Manticore and learning it is how well it's going to pick up, you know, deeper targets. And right now I get a lot of chatter, and I'm messing with the Ferrous limits, learning the Ferrous limits a little bit, trying to go for maybe a little bit more, a little bit less, you know, trying to see what those sound like. I've dug a couple pieces of iron already, which have given me good signals. But, you know, so I got to learn that too a little bit more. But this came up in the beach mode, which is kind of one of the things I did. Okay, so I'm bouncing between beach and general just to test each one. But right now, multi-frequency beach, because that's the only frequency beach will go in. It's multi-frequency. I'm in the 5-tone regional, and I had this tone. I found this target, and it was pinging on there. It was bouncing mostly 4 bars, but it was bouncing between 3 and 4. And then I went to general, and the numbers, I tell you what, the numbers in general, because I'm in general 5-tone, but not 5-tone regional, the numbers are a little bit more stable. Whereas in the beach mode with I have the 5-tone regional, but I have the curve isn't, its curve is more graphed. The beach mode is a little more sporadic. It's a little bit more fluctuating. You can see a little bit more fluctuation in the tones. The 5-tone, the general in the 5-tone regular, the way I have it set up, a little bit better on locking in on the ID numbers, but I was guessing that this was going to be a penny. It was showing me that it was deep, but it was sounding pretty loud in the headphones. So I know that the depth gauge on the Manticore is kind of bad. So if I can hear it that well, it's probably not as deep as I think it as deep as it's telling me it was, and it wasn't. But it was about a 6-inch wheat cent, and it came in pretty good on both the beach one where I found it at, and it came in really good on the 5-tone general on that one. So a little bit different. There's a little bit different tones in each one, so I'm testing both, and I should be testing the general in the regional 1 multi-tone, but for right now I'm just doing those. And it was a little scratchy at first, and I pinpointed both directions, and I got a good signal. I got a little bit higher signal one way than I did the other, and the penny was pretty flat. Wasn't very deep though. So yeah, it's a good sign. Numbers were a little high for the wheat cent, I think, because they were bouncing into the 80s and into the high 70s. So, you know, I'd love to be able to see it more consistent. Those wheat cents in those numbers are supposed to be, I think, in the 70s or 60s. And then you got your copper pennies, but the copper pennies might bounce in probably with the regular copper pennies too, in that high 70s. So anyways, again, learning curve, but I'm glad I found something deep. I mean, not deep, but I found something old. And so this little area, the other wheat cent was just about 15 feet behind me, just pretty around on the surface. So it's possible that another detectorist was here not too long ago and maybe just dropped it while putting it in a bag. So, which means that if that was found, this one was found, I might be able to pick up something else old in here. So we'll see. All right, MineLab does need to answer for their iron falsing issue. I'm running in all-terrain fast, and there's all-terrain fast. I am got it on speed 7, and I've got iron in the hole. And it's painting down here, and you can hear it. It's got little. It always paints. It always paints at the very top middle, which is iron. Always, almost every target I get, unless it's a perfect target by itself. But that's what I don't want or need. I need a detector that's actually going to be able to find targets in amongst iron. So I get the target right here, painting 96, paints right there, and it paints up there just a little bit more so down here. Turn, you get 95, painting here. Okay, then you take the plug out, right? So we take the plug out, trying to do this all one-handed. Kick that plug out of the way. All right, nothing in the plug. Then right here, still getting the tone with the plug off, right? And then I'm gonna put my headphones back on. Spring break here, so there's a lot of juvenile teenagers here driving. Just want to hang out at the park because I guess it's the thing to do. Anyways, so down here, I've already checked all this. I've already pulled all this out actually, and then right down here in the corner is my iron. Where did it go? Right, where'd you go? Right down here is where it was painted. So it's iron. Iron, it's right there. You can see it right here. So I didn't remove it because I wanted to do a video of this, but that's a big piece of iron. Now, I know a lot of you are going to say that's why, and partially true. I know big pieces of iron will false, but when you go through all the proper motions, when you go through and you've detected an object, you've pinpointed it, you've circled 90 degrees and you pinpoint, you do what the machine's supposed to do. It's supposed to clear up the signal, and you dig the plug. Usually that's enough to make the target degrade, but it didn't. And here we have this wonderful, you know. So now I've already put my headphone back in, but I'm going to stand up and go over the hole again. And there's nothing. Absolutely nothing. And nothing over the iron. So, granted, there is a halo effect. Granted that iron will false, and big iron will false. But if I wanted that, I just keep with the E-trac. Old technology, 20 years old, whatever it is. MineLab, you guys are totally screwing this up. And you know what, guys, in the community, I hope MineLab proves me wrong, but MineLab is not going to do a dang thing about this. They've already released 3 other detectors. Their focus is on other things. This is a lost cause, in my opinion. So, you know, it's one of those things. This is going to be the most worthless detector ever. And I'm at this point, I'm wondering if I should just get my money back. Because MineLab needs to address this. And I want to apologize to all those out there who have addressed the iron falsing, you know, Calabash, you're one of them. But it is, I think, a little extreme in the iron falsing issue, to the point where you have discrimination and you have ferrous limits. But when your iron is constantly coming up on your 12 line, your conductive line, what are you supposed to do? There isn't a whole lot a person can do at that point. I mean, oh my gosh, I don't know what to do. I can't hunt this nice iron infested area, this park, or any iron infested area, because this machine doesn't know the difference between a conductive item and a ferrous item. So MineLab really needs to address this issue. And if anybody out there can help me with some settings that might help me with this, between discrimination and the ferrous limits. Because I got to go back in and look at my discrimination on the fast, because I thought it carried over from mode to mode, but it doesn't look like my discrimination is in there. But it wouldn't matter much if I discriminated anyways, because this was still coming up on the 90s, in the 90s, and it was painting at the top, but this was not painting a large target. It was painting at the top middle, very small, but it was painting bigger on the conductive line. So come on, MineLab. Come on. Talk to us. But I don't think they will, guys. I think this is just a lost cause. $1,600 lost cause. And MineLab doesn't want to hear that. So MineLab really needs to address the issue. Now, since I don't have the E-trac with me right here, if I were swinging this with the E-trac, I mean, based on the tone I'm hearing, based on the numbers I'm seeing, I would say, like, oh, this is going to be silver, because the depth meter says 4. The numbers I'm getting are bouncing from high 80s to 90s, and tone sounds really good. I mean, so I found that in fast, numbers were a little low. I went to general, the numbers ticked upwards, and when I pinpointed again and went back to fast, the numbers actually ticked upwards again, a little bit better. But this has happened to me a lot. I think that there goes the Easter egg. I don't know if you saw that. I'm trying to do this with one hand, but let me set this down. If I can get it to prop up enough. Is it gonna prop up enough? Yeah. And I think I saw the Easter egg drop. See, it's funny because right here, let's see if that's what I saw drop out of there. Yeah. Easter egg. It's funny how it was right there in the plug is where it came out of. So not as deep as I would have hoped. So now my thoughts, well, this thing's telling me 4 bars. That should be like 9+ inches, right? 9+ inches at 4 bars. I pinpointed and everything, and yeah, now my expectations have just diminished by about, I don't know, over half. It was only down at it's probably 6-7 inches. It was down 6-7 inches, which is still silver range, but it's just yeah. And what do we got? I got just a stinking Lincoln. So that's the problem. You know, this thing is just upticking all of the numbers, tones, and everything. I just don't know how I feel about that. And I know I wish I had the E-trac to check it, but I'm going to do that with Hap. I'm gonna walk parallel with him, side by side kind of thing, and then if he finds a target, if I find a target, we'll each compare it and go from there. But yeah, just a memorial penny, 6-7 inches. It's the second one I've pulled that was that deep here, but I have pulled I know I've pulled a Washington silver right here. My friends pulled a Washington silver, and my friends pulled a partial Barber dime, and I think a Barber quarters come out of here that I know of too. So, yeah. All right, so that's exactly how I uncovered it. Very slowly, straight up and down on edge. It wasn't giving me that weird, the air testing that I've done with the on edge. It was giving me numbers were for what I'm hoping this is a wheat penny. Numbers I was getting on this wheat penny were in the 60s, and but it sounded like a nice, good high tone. It was painting. It was painting like if you're imagining the screen right now. This screen is like the screen I'm looking at. It was painting down here, and in the middle, and of course always seems to paint at the top. Why, Minelab, does it always paint at the top of your right there? Okay, so anyways, pretty good. It wasn't the most perfect signal. I'm sure there's probably some iron in here somewhere, but it wasn't the most perfect signal. Obviously it's on edge, and I was heading down to an area over the slope here where I've pulled a handful of really old Wheaties, and yeah, that's a 1 center there. And I've walked through this little hill here with the Minelab, but not. This park is one of those parks where it's kind of hit and miss because there's so much iron, and there's so much electromagnetic interference here. But yeah, I'll take that. I mean, I hate to come up to this park and not walk away with anything old at this park. Let's see if I can get a date on that at all. Oh well. I'm gonna keep moving down the hill. Looks like my daylight's leaving, and hopefully the rain doesn't show up. And I just wanted to say too, yes, I only have 5 hunts behind me on this thing, so I am inexperienced. I am ranting and raving, but coming from a Minelab product, coming from what I would expect of the machine, I'm not seeing it, but I haven't had enough time on it, and I am starting to subtly hear subtly, is that a right word? Starting to hear the tone difference, between the garbage and the coin. I am starting to hear that there is a different tone. So I'm ranting and raving, but I still need to learn more. And also, one of the things that bothers me is I look at the screen. This is for Minelab to answer this, but I look at the screen. I see 2 targets a lot of times. I'll see one that's on the conductive high side. I'll see something else painting either in the iron section somewhere, And I'm looking thinking that I've got 2 targets. Now when I turn sideways, rotate my coil around, it'll paint a line like that sometimes. And what I would expect this to do, what the purpose of this is, right, is that it's supposed to show you if you have 2 targets, one and another. And as you turn, of course, you're going to maybe bleed those in because you're changing the relationship to the coin and the iron. But every time I see something like that, it's always the nail. The nail is giving me the good target and the bad. So MindLab really does need to address that issue, that question, and how to fix it. And again, they should have updates. I bet you anything. I'll bet you anything. I'll own this for the whole year and use it. I bet you, if I'm lucky, I see one update. We'll see. We'll see. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. Really hope I'm wrong. All right. Let's see if I can get a date on this coin, but I don't think I'm going to be able to. All right. Well, this is the last couple hunts. Garbage. This vape thing. It's actually 800 millimeter battery, but I haven't checked to see if it's toast. It was just under the surface. Wheaties and that Ford token. Oh, 1 Canadian actually, 1 Canadian penny. So I am finding some Wheaties, so it's a good sign, but no silver yet. Gotta add that to the bag of junk that I've already dug. Alright, well that's it for these last couple hunts. The finales, I emptied my bag, so I'll start fresh again. Battery life on this hunt, let's see, was I used half a battery, and I think I was out for about 5 hours. All right, well, this is just a quick add-on to my previous video regarding the e-bike. I have the electric, I have the XP 2.0 step through, and I have the removable rack. And I bought this, I'm doing a review on some products that I'm buying, mounting on my bike. And one of the last things I got right at the end of my video was this case. And I said that I would show you about mounting it. Okay, so the mounting brackets on here, I removed those screws. Don't line up with their holes, and I've already drilled 2 holes, extra holes, and I'm actually going to drill 2 more holes. So it actually comes pre-drilled with 8 holes, but they're not lined up. They're not spaced. This is I just found out that it doesn't even line up with that one. Really weird, right? It lines up with this one, and it lines up with this one way up here, but not these ones. So it's pretty crappy that the company doesn't give you brackets that are spaced for their pre-hold. They're not lined up. So what I did is I'm gonna use mine. I'm gonna do 2 things. If I just screw these in through the plastic, that'll probably break over time because there's not enough support. So I am gonna do this. I am gonna use I pre-drilled, measured and pre-drilled. I am gonna screw my screws back in. I might put a bigger washer on here so that it's not as small, so it'll be a bigger washer face on there. And I'm also going to use this one across here. So I'm going to have that one mounted underneath, so it goes underneath this and on in through here. So there's lots of support. And then I'm going to drill some new holes and do another one here, because this particular bike rack doesn't have the crossbars needed. I need these crossbars also to be back here so that I could mount one here and one up front. So I am going to utilize my already holes with the new holes I drilled with those original screws with bigger washers, and I'm also going to use their brackets in the middle. I'm going to put one here, and then I'm going to drill some more holes and put one here, and that's probably the best I can do. One option, the other option that you could do is you could zip tie to these bars. And I tried seeing if they would go this way. They don't quite work, but you could do something like that, like across here or back here, but that's what I'm going to do. And how I got my holes, you know, just a little tip for you. If you put a little paint or something, even toothpaste on that, and if you can set your box down perfect, right where you want it, it leaves marks on the bottom of your box. So you can square them up. But another thing you can do too is these are centered in the box. So as long as you know where your holes are, like I did one, so where did I do that one at? I put a little dot right there so that it was lined up with the hole. So you could, in theory, just eyeball it. If those are centered, you know, you could figure it out. So anyways, I'll show you in a few minutes after I get it all done. I should, if I'm lucky, I should have this done in about 10 more minutes. Thanks. Watch. All right, well, I did the screws, or the washers, into the mounts on the rack itself, and with the wider washers, this is actually pretty secure on there. But I'm still thinking about doing theirs for just extra added support. Also, it will fill up, close these holes. Now these ones I didn't screw. I screwed these ones. I drilled these ones, so I have to fill those ones, and then I'm going to have to fill these ones back up here. And I'll probably just get a little caulking or something and cover those up, just to keep spiders and bugs out of the box. But so yeah. So one thing I want to say is these do protrude up, you know, about 1/4 inch, and these ones are going to also do the same thing. You're going to stick up. So be mindful about what you put in your box. Cameras, electronics, drones, and things like that. This is any pop cans. This is going to damage your electronics or scratch your stuff. So think about some sort of a towel or something on the bottom to keep your stuff protected. All right, that's pretty much it. Like I said, this is all this is going to do is this one has the threads on it, and this one will go on the bottom. So this will just go underneath. This one will go inside on top, like that or like that. And there will be a little bit more support. Yeah. So I'm just going to do it anyways. It's like, what the heck? Why not? Overkill, but that's me. All right. Thanks for watching. And I got to get the sticker off. It's not paint, it's sticker. But yeah, it's going to look pretty nice. You know, so it's not oversized, not giant, not massive. And it's going to be perfect. You probably want to know if the helmet will fit in there, but yes, it will. Hold on one sec. So there's the bike helmet. That's my bike helmet, which looks like that. And my wife's bike helmet is this one here. Looks almost the same, a little different, but definitely will fit. I don't know if I can get them both in there. I'm gonna put mine on the bottom. I'll put this, that comes in these bags, so I'm gonna put the bag down there just to protect a little bit. I'm just curious if I can get 2 helmets in here. Curious. And nope, I don't think 2 are gonna fit. Oh wow, look at that. That'll work. That's pretty cool. So I'm not sure how big your bike helmet is. It's not quite down, but I might be able to jiggle it around. Remember, your hinges and everything are not all that strongly supported, so I'm putting a little extra pressure on those right now by. But yeah, 2 helmets will fit in there. That's pretty interesting. No, I think that even actually might fit a little bit better. Sideways. Oh yeah, look at that. So, yeah, I don't know if I can get the lock on. It might not be all the way down in the back, but you could always do something different as far as securing it goes. You could do a different type of lock, and it might work better with her helmet here and mine not there, but yeah. Anyways, that's pretty interesting. So these bigger helmets, I think I could definitely get them both in there if I really wanted to leave them, but since these helmets are a little bit more expensive with the Bluetooth capabilities, we plan on taking our helmets with us, and they're going to go here. I'll show you something real quick. Hang on one sec. So here's our bags, like the one that I used to have on here. And one of the things I was saying about like how we were going to carry our bike helmets with us is that this has a sling strap, and you just sling it across your shoulder, and you can attach your bike helmet to any of your straps, either on top, either by the side, or along the bottom, and then you can just carry your bike helmet basically along your back as you go hiking. So that way you have your snacks, your shirts, and your bike helmet, and then you're good to go. And like I said, I bought this to carry all the locks. So this would hold the 2 locks, the chain, and maybe the cable and the other goodies. And then when we get to our destination, there it is. Chain them up, lock them up, go for a walk. So I hope that's been helpful for you guys. And I really actually do like it. I don't know if I can put, I had my old seat bag, my old one under here just a little while ago, but see how it interferes with this. So I can't have an under the seat bag unless it's lower mounted to the post and or down here, so I can get my seat up and off, because this is just a little too big for that. But I can always try and mount it somewhere else. If I want to, I can mount it right there, but I won't be able to get into it, the zipper, because of this. So I may not use this bag. We've got this. I got the sling bag, which I'll be wearing it while I ride, and then my wife's got this extra bag, and put some gloves in there and stuff, and then she has her bag. We're ready to go. we're ready to go. And we're ready to go. Man, can't wait to get going. Can't wait to get going. Yeah. All right. Well, it's on, and just want to show you. If I want to take it all with me, it all fits. The club, the kryptonite on the bottom, the 10-foot Abus chain, 12 millimeter to 12 meter padlock, and the big 12 millimeter cable will all fit, and a bike pump. That'll all fit in here. It's pretty dang heavy though. That's, you know, my concern is that's why I wanted a hard side, but it will all fit. It's not all going in easy peasy, but it will fit. Yeah, I do have a smaller one of these, a very small one, so I may choose to keep this like at the trailer and the back of the bumper, and use the smaller one in here to just go through the seat post, because I don't need to worry too much about the front wheels. I mean, you can take them off, but they're not quick release, and so most of the quick release would be the concern would be the seat post. And as far as putting that little alarm on the wheel, on the front wheels, could probably protect the wheels if somebody chose to try and take those off. So that's what I might do, is I might just leave this cable at the trailer, and then I'll chain them up with this and just leave this at the trailer or something. Who knows? I may not even use it, this big long heavy one, and I might go with the smaller one. Just if the smaller one will reach, you know, like through the seat post and through the frame, then I'll just use that. But I did buy like a 12-footer, 10 or 12-footer, because I was thinking that I had to go through the front wheel, but the front wheel doesn't have quick release like my old wheels did. So I might switch it out. But again, it will all fit. It just takes a little bit of, there, just like that, one-handed, a little bit of maneuver. Oh man, I put the clamp, there we go, clamps on the inside. A little bit of maneuvering. It's not exactly closing perfect right there. So something you want to watch for is you want to make sure there's not too much pressure on any of this, because these things are all cheap, you know, they're plastic, and they could snap if there's too much undue pressure on that. So I'll have to look and see if I can readjust some things. Also, what's in this box is, let's see, I don't want to turn it on. Let's see, how do I turn that on? I put one in my bag, and I put one in my wife's bag. They both work for both alarms. So these little alarm fobs. So if I push it in between both bikes, it actually armed both of them. I have one in her bag and one in here. You just heard it. So now if somebody were to come over here and try to mess with it, it's not very loud in the box, but depending on where you're parking, it's going to draw attention to the bike. You know, and if they had it open, if they got this open, it'll be twice as loud. So, and how I did that, I just made it loose. That's the alarm. It's just loose in the box, so it can move around the box, but that's all. It wasn't very much vibration to set that off. Another option they do give you some double-sided stickum tape on the back. I could stick it on this very smooth surface, like right up in there, which actually probably would be better. The problem is closing it on top of something. See, I do have this space right here, so if I were to use this configuration, I could mount it like sideways in here somehow so that it closes right here. Anyways, lots of options. Something I want to mess with over time. And yeah, but I'm pretty happy with that. It's just going to be heavy, and I may not be taking all of that with us depending on where we're going. You know, that's the thing. You have to decide where you're going and how you're going to use stuff, because if you're going into a trail, I might have to find a small tree. And if I'm finding a small tree, I'll use my 10-foot cable, and I'll use the big club locks to maybe lock multiple things in. And I would probably use this to help, just because we'd be gone in the woods. So, if I'm in town, I might just do the ABUS chain, and maybe just the club lock if both our wheels are close enough. Who knows? We'll see. And I got lots of options. Let you know what's annoying and what works over time. All right, one last little comment about this bag. I was going to just wear this one and have all the stuff in this one, but I was going to wear it and, well, decided to maybe just bungee it around. So I just put a couple bungee straps holding it back and forward in place. So basically I got the locks in here and then my bag to go carry. So it's not on my back when I'm traveling. So sometimes, it might be like 90 degrees outside. That little thing's going to get hot. So it's just another option for how to travel. And that way I can travel like this for long distance. I can still get access to food and drinks and things like that. And when we finally stop for our destination, I can it's really quick and easy. The bungees are just bungees, there's no knots or anything like that. And away you go. So another option for you. All right. So this is electric bike flaw. And it's this little thing right here. This is supposed to be a standard bottle holder fit size. And I've had problems with 2 different holders now, and it's that Electric's frames are not lining up the holes correctly. The bottom one is in, the top one's loose. The bottom one's loose so I can get a little wiggle room, but you can kind of see it. Well, you can't, but it's right there. It does not fit. Let's see if you can see that better. Can you see it at all? It doesn't line up. You can't get the screw in there to screw in. And I've tried pulling it back and getting it in there, but it's just off. Now I'm going to try my other bike and see if it'll fit on that one, but I don't think it's going to fit because I tried it. I tried putting another bike holder on this one too, and they're just off. Electric, you've got a manufacturing defect. Fix it. Thank you.